Okay, let's go.
UFC President Dana White has just dropped a massive bombshell directly aimed at former bantamweight icon Ronda Rousey, and the entire MMA world is exploding. The chaos kicked off when White linked the controversy to undefeated British powerhouse Dakota Ditcheva, sparking a wave of reactions across social media. Rousey quickly fired back on Twitter, adding even more fuel to the fire. Meanwhile, Dan Hardy has entered the conversation with a fiery comparison that's only intensifying the debate. From Dana White's shocking message to Rousey's emotional response, this drama is unfolding fast, and you won't want to miss a single detail. The firestorm began when UFC legend and veteran analyst Dan Hardy shook the MMA world with one of the boldest takes in years. While discussing 26-year-old Dakota Ditcheva on the Bloody Elbow podcast, Hardy didn't just hype up the undefeated PFL champion, he went directly at Ronda Rousey's legacy. He stated, "I could make the argument right now that she could beat anybody in this weight class on the planet." Not once, repeating it with full confidence. Hardy then broke down why he believes Dakota hasn't just matched Ronda's legendary skill set, but surpassed it entirely. He acknowledged Ronda as a trailblazer whose dominance was built on Olympic-level judo and her signature armbar, but argued that she controlled only one primary range of combat. Dakota, he said, represents the next stage in women's MMA evolution, with the ability to hold her own on the mat even against elite jiu-jitsu specialists, but more importantly, with terrifying takedown defense paired with razor-sharp, brutal Muay Thai striking. According to Hardy, that deadly combination makes her dangerous to anyone in the division, and his comments hit hard because Dakota Ditcheva isn't some unproven up-and-comer. She's already shown she's the real deal, and the numbers prove it. Dakota is heading into 2025 with a flawless 15-0 professional record, untouched, unbroken, and unmatched. But what truly terrifies the division is her staggering 90% finish rate, with 12 brutal knockouts and a submission to top it off. That's not just winning, that's absolute domination. In 2024, she claimed the PFL Women's Flyweight World title and walked away with a cool $1 million, earning it by dismantling former UFC title contender Taila Santos in just 2 rounds. And remember, this is the same Santos who once pushed the great Valentina Shevchenko to her limit, yet Dakota made her look completely outclassed. Born on July 25, 1998, in Manchester, England, Dakota was making history long before she ever stepped into an MMA cage. She became a Muay Thai world champion at just 17 and later captured gold at the 2016 IFMA World Championships. After transitioning to MMA, she wasted no time proving she was built for greatness, and now it's her confidence that has the entire MMA community buzzing. Recently, Dakota stated, "When I look at the UFC roster, I know I'd walk straight into the top 15, maybe even the top 10. I know I could beat a lot of them." A declaration that showcases the mindset of a rising superstar who believes she's already operating on another level. That's the same fearless confidence Ronda Rousey carried in her prime, but Dakota brings it with the complete, modern skill set of a new-era fighter. And to understand why this comparison hits so hard, you have to look at how Ronda's career ended, because it was rough. Rousey's final appearance at UFC 207 ended in a devastating 48-second knockout loss to Amanda Nunes, where Ronda looked completely overwhelmed on the feet. It was a heartbreaking conclusion to what had once been one of the most dominant championship runs the sport had ever witnessed.
At the UFC, and I think I definitely enter the top 15, maybe even the top 10.
Ronda later opened up about that dark chapter of her career, admitting, "I remember walking away from my last fight thinking, God hates me. I had nothing left." She went on to reveal something even more heartbreaking, that the very first clean shot she absorbed in that fight instantly rocked her, and she realized in that moment that her brain wasn't something that could heal stronger like a broken bone. From there, she said, her decline felt inevitable, a painful truth that made her downfall even harder to watch. For someone who poured her entire heart into building women's MMA from the ground up, carrying the division while the sport evolved around her, that downfall hit harder than anyone could have imagined. Ronda herself admitted, "I gave them everything I had, and it still wasn't enough." And this is where everything flips. After Dan Hardy's explosive comparison went viral and fans began debating whether Dakota might actually surpass Rousey's iconic legacy, Dana White was finally asked about the situation during a recent UFC press conference.
Last fight, walking away thinking God hates me. Rousey got touched, I was out on my feet. My brain doesn't heal back stronger after a break. It was an inevitable decline.
Dana White's message was clear. While he still respects Ronda Rousey's legendary career, his focus is firmly on the next generation fighters like Dakota Ditcheva. Sometimes, that silence about a potential Rousey comeback speaks louder than any words. Insiders reveal that the UFC has been keeping a close eye on Dakota, though the PFL is holding on to their star tightly, even denying a recent trade request. The social media reaction was immediate and explosive, splitting fans. Some applauded Rousey for acknowledging Dakota's talent, while others felt she was brushing off the comparison. MMA legends like Daniel Cormier and Miesha Tate jumped in to defend Rousey, with DC tweeting, "Put some respect on Ronda's name. She opened doors nobody else could." The big question now, will this spark a Rousey comeback, or is her legacy firmly closed? The truth is, both sides have a point. Rousey was a pioneer, shattering barriers and giving credibility to women's MMA when few believed in it, going 12-0 with 11 first-round finishes, becoming the first UFC women's champion, and carrying the division while it was still finding its footing. Now Dakota Ditcheva is carrying that torch forward, dominating, evolving, and proving that the future of women's MMA has never looked brighter.